gives me a great pleasure to address this distinguished gathering of academic leaders, policymakers, and stakeholders in a tertiary education subsector. Today's meeting holds immense significance as it sets the tone and direction for the 2025 and 2026 admission cycle, impacting the educational trajectory of countless young youth aspiring to access our higher education system. As you're all aware, this is an all-important policy meeting on admission, has over the years evolved into a central platform for aligning national priorities with institutional practices in our tertiary education system. It is the largest single education policy assembly that brings together heads of tertiary institutions, vice chancellors, rectors, and provosts, regulatory bodies, National University Commission, National Board for Technical Education, and National Commission for Colleges of Education, and other key actors in a shared commitment to strengthen transparency, equality, and quality in admission. Permit me to therefore commend the registrar and staff of the Joint Admission Matriculation Board, and indeed you all, for the roles you have played individually and collectively in consistently ensuring that this process is driven by data, discipline, and innovation. It is only by such concerted efforts that we can continue to build a credible and responsible admission system. This year's meetings comes at times when we are taking deliberate steps to address long-standing challenges that have hindered the implementation of admissions, policies, and undermined the integrity, equity, and efficiency of our admissions process. This includes the menace of examination malpractices, illegal admissions, and abuse of entry age into our tertiary institutions. It is therefore a duty not only to ensure that this decision-making process is transparent, fair, credible, and objective, but also to enforce implementation so as to avoid circumstances where deserving candidates are denied the opportunity to pursue their educational dreams and aspirations. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me reaffirm that as with previous admission exercises, the approved guidelines for admissions, as well as approved previous admission exercise, the approved guidelines for admissions as approved and circulated, all institutions are expected to strictly comply with them, as well as those set by regulatory bodies, NUC, MBT, and NCCE, and relevant professional bodies, particularly in relation to the approved quotas, ratios, and other specifications designed to enhance quality, ensure accountability, and promote equity. I've been briefed on various initiatives introduced by JAMB to improve its operations and modernize the admission processes. I encourage all stakeholders to continue to familiarize themselves with these developments to further strengthen transparency, fairness, and accuracy for which the board is widely respected. As you are aware, the responsibility for initiating the admissions of candidates lie with the Senate or the respective academic boards of each institution. However, JAMB, as a legally mandated regulatory body, oversees and regulates the process to ensure fairness and equity. To support this, the Central Admission Processing Systems was developed and deployed in the year 2017 to enforce compliance on the agreed procedures. I've been briefed on the workings of CAPS as an automation devoid of human interference, which has eliminated administrative bottlenecks. As usual, JAMB has always issued specific advisories to guide the process. Flexibility to address peculiarities and the unique features of institution can also be allowed, provided such allowances comply with the guidelines. Therefore, let me state emphatically and unequivocally, any admission conducted outside CAPS, regardless of its intentions, is illegal. Any admission conducted outside CAP is illegal. Both institutions and the candidates involved in such practices will be held accountable. Sanctions may include the withdrawal of the institutional license, as well as the removal or with prosecution of culpable officers of governing council or governing council's members. I urge vice chancellors, rectors, provosts, governing councils, and senate of institutions to step up the oversight functions to prevent unauthorized practices. The ministry, in collaboration with JAMB, will monitor compliance closely and take necessary actions. The integration of a national identification number into JAMB registration process has come to stay. It has also proven to be a vital tool in safeguarding the integrity of our admission system by effectively curbing identity fraud and multiple registrations. Moving forward, the ministry will continue to support this policy as a cornerstone of transparency and accountability in the education sector. Any abuse of the national identification number system will be identified and punished. The issue of age at entry into tertiary institutions has generated much debate, but our position is clear. The entry age for admission into tertiary institution is now officially pegged at 16 years. It was reduced from 18, which was to be effective from this year exercise, hence the need for this compliance. This policy decision reflects a balance between cognitive maturity and academic preparedness. 16 years of age as admission, as the official age, is non-negotiable. Institutions are hereby directed to ensure strict compliance. We understand there may be a few exceptional cases, and provisions have already been made for legitimate exceptions, especially for gifted children or those with accelerated educational pathways. However, this must be clearly demonstrated and documented, and it must be justified. The ministry is firm in its resolve, and those attempting to circumvent this policy by altering age records will be sanctioned accordingly. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is no longer news that examination malpractice has become a cancer in our educational system, undermining the merit, eroding confidence, and compromising the quality of our graduates. In response to this, I constituted a committee under the chairman of Professor Ishak Oloyede on the improvement of quality of examinations in Nigeria, this committee has since concluded its assignment and submitted a comprehensive set of recommendations. I'm pleased to inform you that I've approved the implementation of those recommendations, and I'm confident that they will help sanitize our examination ecosystem in our country. As part of the implementation of the approved recommendations, I've sanctioned the establishment of Central Examination Malpractice Unit within the Federal Ministry of Education, chaired by the Permanent Secretary. I think that deserves a big round of applause. This team will serve as a national clearinghouse for the documentation and reporting of examination malpractices across all levels of our educational system.